cut through. Do go back.
Professor,
I can keep going on and on. I can keep going on.
Hey, Professor Hassan Mandal, brother, how are you?
Fine, Professor Iqbal Chaudhry, how are you?
Everybody is missing you. You know, we were all expecting that you would place an occasion and you come to Karachi. So,
Yeah, I mean, inshallah for the next time. But I mean, at the exactly overlapping meeting with the LDC meeting, least developed countries UN meeting, and I have one of the organizers. It was in Doha, so I was there.
So, Excellency, Professor Dr. Adnan Badran is here, and he would be chairing the panel discussion. Professor
Okay,
Hassan.
Okay. Professor Hassan, how are you?
Fine, Professor Adnan Badran. Good, thank you. And yourself?
Alhamdulillah. Hope everything is nice. All is set. Mask coming up, coming down.
Perfect. So far.
You didn't have your lunch.
I have
Where?
banana or apple, nuts.
Very healthy.
We had banana.
Yes, yes. So you should ask him now, because he's over there. He's coming.
Well, I think we had a very nice conference and wonderful presentation and deliberation. I want to thank you all for your contribution and also for being here with us, participating in our 24th conference with the IAS. We are going to sum up in this panel. And we hope that we will share together how can we do it? How can, through STI, science, technology, innovation, how could we promote socio-economic development in the OIC countries? I think as scientists, we produce, we deliver solutions, but sometimes the solutions are so theoretical and not applied. How to make application of the outcome of R&D and try to innovate and create new materials, new management, new services, and really provide a better life for our future, for our citizens and future generation. I think we have to look into the picture of the 57 countries in the OIC. By the way, there are so many differences in development between us as member state of the IAS. Some are more developed than others. Some, they have achieved a lot, and they have achieved success stories. And I think we, in the Islamic world, we should benefit from those states who succeeded in building socio-economic development. I think this is extremely important. South cooperation, we should strengthen it and become a reality. Always, I think of education whenever I face a problem. I think really the most important thing you should remember when we talk about STI and socioeconomic development, that human resources, the brain is really the tool, the instrument, the vehicle to STI, the vehicles to socioeconomic. Let us not forget that. So we have to look at our education system. Are we developing the brains, or are we developing people unemployed? I mean, this is the challenge. So we have to look at our education system and start from childhood. Because really building inquiry-based brain starts from childhood. And this is extremely important, how to develop the critical thinking, the problem solving, how to develop smart minds, smart people, very efficient, how to develop vehicles of development. Every vehicle can move hundreds behind it for work. This is really, when we talk about startups is extremely important because it employs others. The graduate from the university will not go and knock the door asking for a work. He will create work. He create SMEs, small medium enterprise. And what he creates, this graduate from University of Karachi, will employ, hello. Good to see you. Sorry for starting, but Professor Shawdi insisted that we stop. It is not my fault. It's your children. So you solve them between. So how I mean, those people they invent work, they invent companies, and this is what we should target our institution. No more. You see, in the past, after colonization, we needed higher education to provide us with employees in the public sector, in the government, in the cadre of the government. But the government, my dear, now is full. I know in Jordan, there's no vacancy in government, no more. As a matter of fact, there is overweight, extra weight in the government. How to get rid of it is a problem. I think we need the university to graduate, like I said, smart people, brains, start SMEs, start companies, and employ the rest of the people. This is with education. I hope I will make my introductory remark. Human resources is so important, but not only education, quality education, target education, relevant education. This is what we need. And this is very important, really, to change our human resources from idle human resources to rich, very rich human resources. And this is, I feel, the challenge, the brain, the human resource, how to invent and how to make, how to create. And how to innovate. Now I want to invite Professor Abdul Rahman.
You might say.
Thank you. Thank you.
You just go ahead. This is video.
Very nice thing.
Hello. How come you give me this? This is each difference.
Well, thank you very much. But number one, what we should be looking at is sustainable socio-economic development, sustainable and equitable. And many talks, including Michael and others, have talked about need for equitable and sustainable socio-economic development. Sustainable in terms of socially, in terms of economically, in terms of environment, etc. The real challenge is the ability to manufacture and export high technology, high value-added goods. If there was a one-liner, if the Prime Minister of Jordan and Prime Minister of Pakistan asked me, what should be our national policy? Having talked about sustainability, I would say the ability to manufacture and export high technology, high value-added goods, because that's where the money is. And that is why these countries like Singapore have annual exports of $400 billion and a per capita income higher than that of Germany or UK. So the ability to manufacture and export. Now, how do we go about doing this? I will not talk about the political, that of course is taken for granted. You have to have a political leader who understands the importance. But having taken that for granted, what should we do? Well, firstly, the systems that we have operating in universities and research centers, they need to be revised with clear key performance indicators laid down. For the president of the university, you have taken over now, what should be how should you be evaluated 3 years down the road? For the deans, for the faculty at every stages, so KPIs for everybody, so that they know at the time of joining, I'm going to be measured on this parameter next year, 2 years, 3 years. These are completely missing in most countries. So KPIs for everybody, and then a neutral external evaluation on the basis of those KPIs, so that we wake up all these sleeping institutions that we have all over the world and ask them to really start performing. The second is the integration of innovation within the academic systems and within the research system. So integrated technology parks, integrated innovation parks is vitally important. Thirdly, the need for a national fund which can be used for promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. When I was the Minister for IT, I had got we had formed a company called Ignite under the IT ministry, related to the IT ministry, and all the earnings from the telecommunication infrastructure, 1% of that was going to Ignite, and a huge amount of money has now been piled up with them, and they are able to finance it. So one should somehow get independence from annual grants that come in from the government, so that you have an independent mechanism linked to the private sector, so that there is regular money assured, irrespective of which government is in power or which is not. So these kind of a national fund linked to the private sector contributing for development. The need for a national innovation policy. We don't have a clear innovation policy, most of these countries, and not just a policy, but a strategy for its implementation, and then integration of that strategy with the entire development effort of the countries for every ministry, whether it's agriculture or IT or industries or whatever. How are they're going to, and KPI should be then linked to that innovation policy. For the private sector to promote the innovation environment, double or even triple tax benefits. So if they contribute a certain amount to R&D, they would get a significant relief to promote, because ultimately the name of the game is private sector. The government should only have a catalytic role through policy making. It has to be the private sector which has to play this game. Ease of doing business. Most of the Islamic countries rank very low as compared to, say, Finland or Singapore or others it should be a one-window operation, and you should be able to form a company within 24 hours and start business very quickly. Here, it can take months and months. So ease of doing business in international rankings are available. We need to look at all those parameters. There are 12 or 15 parameters under which these rankings are done, and we need to then, because without that, you will not have startups. IPR, intellectual property rights, and the legal issues associated with them. Disputes arise through IPR. Firstly, the IPRs are not enforceable easily in most Islamic countries, and if disputes arise, you can go on for months and months and months, and those disputes are not resolved. So effective IPRs, prioritized projects. You can't do everything. Each country has to look at its own natural resources, human resources, and frame its own policies according to its needs. But there have to be a few key priorities. Some of them can be very common. For instance, agriculture. The fastest way to tackle rural poverty is just increases in yields, and many of these are very simple inputs. You don't have, it's not rocket science. So advanced agriculture should be one. IT, you spoke about this morning. You don't have to set up huge industries for IT. All you need is good teachers and a system which evaluates and gives the right marks to the right people. So a system of IT education, and that links up with the digital transformation that you were talking about: e-governance, e-commerce, e-health, and e-everything. It's all e now, but we must be geared to meet these new needs. A collective mechanism within the Islamic countries so that we can tackle problems together, not individually. And this can be done, for instance, in the IT area. If you want to have blockchain technology, just to give you an example, who are the top blockchain experts in Egypt, in Malaysia, in Pakistan, in Turkey, etc. ComStech can play a role and have this meeting of people, a virtual group, and then problems can be posed to them, and they can come forward with solutions. The same can be done with agriculture or whatever you can have, but focused groups through ComStech in specialized fields of AI or whatever. So that's a mechanism within the Islamic countries. University industry interactions, a linking of the needs versus available technologies. So I had formed, when I was the chairman ComStech, the coordinator general ComStech, I had created a website. What are the technologies available in industries in the Islamic countries which they can offer, and what are the needs? And matching those can be done very easily without much cost. So, and then integration of MOOCs is very important at school level, college level, and university level. We had created an integrated version of MOOCs. So these are some of the ideas that I have to create a roadmap for transitioning to a knowledge-based economy, and for collaboration amongst the member countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hatab. Thank you very much indeed. I think what you have mentioned is extremely important: collaboration, cooperation, bridging the industry with the academia, and really. You see, here in IOC member states, I think collaboration, cooperation, always I wonder why we have rigid borders between the 27 member states. You see, Europe, which every country has different culture, different language, and so forth. Really, they have united around steel and coal, economics. I think we have to find economics where we share and care for it. And this will unite us and develop a free market economy for our country. I think, when you talk about the population in the OIC member state, we talk about the vast resources, whether human resources or natural resources. Forget about the oil, but the oil is part of it. Then you are wondering why we are late in development, why we haven't achieved what we should. I know some countries, like you mentioned, the countries who achieved a lot, we should learn from them. Success story. I think, to me, from my own experience in government, stability and peaceful of mind is very important if you want to develop. Malaysia, if it wasn't for Mahathir Mohamad staying 25 years, his party in power, they will not achieve it. Mr. Lee in Singapore, you mentioned, stability, he stayed more than 20 years. You know, in our country now, you make a strategy, you make a planning. By the time you finish it and you start working, there is a change of government. And the next prime minister comes, he doesn't want to take from the old prime minister because he thinks he knows better. So he makes his own strategy and policy. By the time he finishes it, he's gone. And there is no continuity. Continuity is missing. Stability and long-time vision to implement it is messed up.
May I just make one quick remark
Yes.
with your permission? I think we can learn from the policies of some European countries, for instance, the United Kingdom. On key issues, they not only have the cabinet involved, but the shadow cabinet also involved in the decision of on key issues,
Yes.
like higher education, like science and technology, like innovation, so that when there is a change of government, the policy, because they are already consulted in advance, so the political parties are already involved. I think we can learn from that, so that you don't have a new policy coming in every time.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, now I want to ask Professor Chowdhury also for his comments.
Excellency, Brother Hassan Mandal has to leave. So I request you if you can kindly invite him for his comments. Professor Dr. Hassan Mandal.
Hassan,
Yes, okay.
Hassan, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Professor Hassan.
Yeah, okay, so dear, I'm in panel chair of the Professor Adnan Badran. So distinguished colleagues, brothers and sisters. So as the president of the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey, shortly TÜBİTAK, it's a privilege to support for me to be attending the 24th conference of the Islamic World of Academy of Sciences on a thematical subject of the challenges to promote science and technology for socio-economical development of the OIC countries. And it's a quite important and privilege that under the high patronage of the President of the Pakistan. So let me also express my appreciation for the solidarity of the Pakistan during the earthquakes that directly affected 11 provinces in Turkey and all members of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation. Moreover, we appreciate our collaboration with the COMSTEC and also the International Center for Chemical and Biological Sciences that are collaborating in this key conference. The objectives of enabling inter-Islamic world connections, promoting the development of the ecosystems, and providing science-based advice and voice of the scientists are essential. So we live in a complex world with global risks that range from climate change and natural disasters, which we have been very recently on the earthquake, and also in Pakistan before that. And so the climate change and natural disasters to involuntary migration, unfortunately, all of which require science-based solutions and guidance to navigate the difficulties and opportunities. When we focus on the role of the science, technology, and innovation in the meeting, the challenges of the socio-economical development in the member states of the OIC, it is clear that more needs to be done to mobilize the established synergies among human resources and the knowledge, which just has been also mentioned and shared. This is the reason that we as TÜBİTAK are implementing our strategies approach of working and succeeding together across every opportunity in our ecosystem and beyond, including in our bilateral cooperation. TÜBİTAK currently has bilateral cooperation with 67 countries and 98 institutions. In year 2022, we jointly opened 28 bilateral calls with 19 countries under our support program of TÜBİTAK 1071 for bilateral STI cooperation projects. We expect the impact for sustainable development and co-creation based collaboration. I think this is quite important. More than the collaboration, we are preferring and encouraging the co-creation. So the co-creation based collaboration opportunities across the academia and also the industry. So we see that the approach of the co-creation based collaboration is particularly important in the race against time in the scope of complex challenges, including the climate mitigation and clean technologies. Our bilateral cooperation with OIC countries also represents in this approach. For example, our collaboration with the Pakistan Science Foundation, PSF, has included a focus on academia-industry collaboration projects. To date, the launch of the TÜBİTAK PSF collaboration involves about funded 24 projects, joint projects, and also new calls are opening. Aligned with the Kuala Lumpur Summit, Turkey also has a dedication to high technology, result-oriented policy solutions, and addressing opportunities for the SDGs in a center for excellence in research and development and innovation. We share commitments for achieving impact based on high technology development for the UN SDGs. In addition, Turkey recently signed 7 different agreements with Malaysia as another OIC country, other than Pakistan, which we have already been running, including between TÜBİTAK and the Malaysian Industry Government High Technology Group, which is MITE. We are launching a new academic industry course to support our approach. Moreover, TÜBİTAK Marmara Research Center at TÜBİTAK headquarters campus in nearby Istanbul is becoming a regional research center within the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology of ICGA. Our center will be the second largest regional research center after the China Medical City. And we are also looking forward to collaboration with OIC countries under this regional research center. We are also excited to have opened a scholarship call with a collaboration with UNESCO, the World Academy of Science to us, to support the research of doctoral and postdoctoral human resources. Our scholarship program will support the next generation of researchers in developing countries, of course, including the OIC countries. The wide range of the eligible fields from the agricultural sciences, structural, cellular, and molecular biology, biological systems and organisms, medical and health sciences, including the neurosciences and also the chemical sciences to engineering sciences, astronomy, space and earth science, mathematical sciences, physics, as well as the computing and the information technology, will be the new opportunities for co-creation based collaboration. Currently, myself, I am holding the presidency of the World Association of Industrial and Technological Research Organization, which is shortly WITRO. There are also institutions from the countries represented in this panel, among a total 100+ members and 50+ countries under the umbrella of the WITRO. Our vision during our WITRO presidency encompasses a focus on opportunities for sustainable development while addressing the climate change and complex global challenges by co-creating and succeeding together for our common future. We are looking forward to bringing together institutions to a broader approach of working and succeeding together. Under the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, GCIP, we are providing support for clean technologies and entrepreneurships. A new phase is launched during the COP27 in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh, and this second phase will be the most extensive accelerator for the green technologies. Technology validation, investment readiness, global market competition, acceleration activities, and clean tech solutions are being supported. We must both establish and utilize the existing mechanism to boost science, technology, and innovation for sustainability in OIC countries. More recently in Turkey, under the TÜBİTAK, we have been established a new Clean Energy, Climate Change, and Sustainability Research Institute. Our new research institute that will provide a co-creation and succeeding together approach for the green transformation of our country will work with the R&D and innovation ecosystem. Our new research institute will also have an active role in the planning and coordinating studies serving our green transformation. We are anticipating that this will be a further support by international collaboration opportunities. As concluding remarks, let me emphasize that realizing the opportunities for co-creation-based collaboration requires our continued dedication to address challenges and promote science and technology for sustainable development. Environment, social, and economical needs are interconnected in a complex ways that requires greater collaboration. I express my gratitude for this panel once again and hope to continue an effective collaboration with OIC countries. So thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you, Professor Hassan. Thank you. I think the model of STI in Turkey is remarkable, and also the Council for Higher Education, I think, was chaired by late Dogromagi, and it has a very successful story because you give university autonomy. Autonomous universities, they are competing with each other, whether private or public universities in Turkey, and I think the rise of Turkey, the recent rise of Turkey is due to innovation and really to entrepreneurship. Your interaction with other institutes in the world, particularly in Germany and so forth, really has been on the beneficial side on both countries. Thank you, and let's hear now, we may come back to you for questions and from the audience, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Professor Hassan, stay with us, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be stay till what time? Okay. So I'll be here another half an hour time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Excellency, thank you very much. I think as a lot has already been said, you. It's better?
This one is bigger.
Okay, so this is coming from you, certainly better. So as in your introductory remarks, you mentioned about some fundamentals, and then Professor Darman very elegantly mentioned about various components of how education, science, technologies can be linked to socio-economic development, particularly sustainable social. My version is more simplified, in fact, oversimplified. I really feel that you cannot really build a very strong building on superficial foundation. The edifice has to be very, very strong. My understanding and opinion, I think the most important component of developing anything which is magnificent and grandeur and which can benefit people is to have high quality education institution. I completely and totally agree with you. And that is what Professor Darman has tried. We need to have very high quality institutions from school to colleges, from colleges to universities, without people who are coming out of this very strong conceptual background, excellent understanding of the subject. We cannot even think of developing anything better. Second is to develop very high quality research and development. And that is absolute must. Without this, we'll not be able to do that. And of course, for that, we need political will, we need to sustain financial support, but good quality research and development institutions is the second absolute must. Third is that we need to develop incubation center and science park. And for that, we need to use the model which we have followed in this country. I remember when in 2002, when Professor Rahman was the Minister for Information Technology and Science Technology, we gave 15 years tax holidays on information technology ID related. And that has led to $3 billion, currently $3 billion export of ICT product application side. So I think we need to have a very high quality incubation center, especially economic zones, university-based science parks, absolutely essential. The fourth is, of course, private sector research, which we need to support through various innovative approaches. One approach which our neighbor has applied was that in any company where you would have one PhD, you would get 5% of tax incentive. And you have two PhDs, you would get 10% of tax incentive. And if you have 3 PhDs, everything which you will import for research center is going to be completely tax-free. So such innovations are extremely important. Now, when I took over as the coordinator general of the ComStack, I was just absolutely shocked that not only the budget of this institution was very, very low, but contributions of other countries were also very low. And then I looked into various investment in different countries. There were countries who were sending their planet to Mars. There were countries who were building huge infrastructure for science and technology. But when it comes to inter-Islamic cooperation of accommodating a few people in their institution, helping mobilities, helping their institution, was a complete unwillingness. It was so shocking and extremely heartbreaking. What we were able to do, we were able to break this barrier. Now we have 150 institutions and ComStack of excellence spread over 3 continents. We are supporting mobility of over 700 people. We're spending about $2 million USD on various programs of ComStack, which include institutional linkages, Health Africa, and others. So what I wanted to say very briefly, that though there are countries who are spending a lot of money on their own science technology-based development, the willingness to help the other is unfortunately lacking, which is not only heartbreaking but also shocking. Because when we talk about spirit of Islam, that is where we feel that. Yes.
Thank you. You see, always I wonder when we look at the OIC countries, the number of universities and also the research institution there's something missing. And this is where we have to look. What is missing? Is it the quality of education, or it is education is living in ivory towers and has nothing, no communication whatsoever with the community, with the industry, with the services, with the government? I think also we have to look into research. I mean, there are so much repetitions. I mean, here we've heard, for example, which is in Turkey, about the IGCP, the International Genetic Center, which is going to be state of the art. It's a world-class conference. And we are here now in a world-class center. I've been in many centers in the world. I want to say it's very frank. This is a world-class, first-class world center. I mean, with the scientists, quality of scientists, quality of equipment, quality of labs, and the autonomy, the freedom of this center to handle the things very quickly. I think this is very important. No bureaucracy. And I think if we can build on what we have first, let us examine what we got, and let us bridge those things. And this is why I like your idea when you talk about centers of excellence? Why don't we have a consortium of centers of excellence with the OIC country? Let them work as one center with a huge critical mass.
Virtual.
Absolutely. Let us face. I mean, climate change, you cannot solve that by yourself, and by myself and yourself. Climate change needs cooperation, collaboration. Needs multi-millions dollars for research, R&D, to see how we orient our agriculture, our food industry, our things to climate change. How from where we get our waters? If 20%, for example, in Jordan, rainforest has fallen, 20%. And you know, we live in the semi-arid zone. So falling any millimeter of water, it means desert, desertification. And I feel really in the Islamic country, we have to join forces. We have to develop fellowships between our institutions. We have to identify common problems and work on them together through a consortium of centers of excellence. This is the way Europe has done. This is the way United States, you know, they start creating United States land grant universities and colleges. For what? For food. They provided agricultural land and everything for food. They provided agricultural land and so forth. And they fed the whole American and even one third of the population of the world. Mechanized agriculture. And this is why, and they did it. You know, they did it. What's his name? I forgot his name. The senator who provided land in every state to build 2 universities, state supported. Urbana-Champaign is one of them. And Michigan State, Ohio State, Iowa State, you know. They solved the problem of food. They developed corn hybrid. They developed, you know, corn hybrid still by Urbana-Champaign developed. You know, it changed the whole world in terms of production. The activity is very high. Cement centers, you know, when you talk about wheat, India used to import wheat, now they export it. Because of what? Because of the cement, the cultivar produce about 5 to 6 times the old wheat. So what I'm trying to say, science can do wonders for us. Really, can do wonders in terms of solving our problems. I think food security is one thing we have to concentrate on. Energy, water, this nexus of food, water, and energy is so important to the OIC countries. Now we come to Michael. What you got?
Well, since I think I have a microphone. First of all, I'd like to say I'm absolutely humbled by the problems we face. I come from the red zone. We've got everything. We think we have problems. We have no problems compared to what you have here. And my heart, mind, and everything else goes out to you, the challenges you face. And yet I'm envious. I wish I lived here because I really think the red zone is out to lunch. You know, they think they have problems, they don't really. Secondly, I'm really impressed with the quality of the science and the papers that have been given, the students I've met. And of course, Atta, I can't believe how your mind works, how you keep track of everything, how you do it. And secondly, your offspring here, that I can't say enough for it all. It makes me feel absolutely incompetent. But having said that, my basis is physics, so forget chemistry, forget biology. This is the mother science. I'd like to leave you with 4 classic physics ideas. Classic: space, time, mass, energy. Let's take the good news first, because there are 3 that are in deep trouble. The first good news is energy. We have the sun. We've got infinite energy. All it takes is us scientists figure out how to grow plants that produce electricity, right? And then we're all home free. In the meantime, as I said, we've got Morocco, an Islamic country, where you can put solar and thermal collectors there and power the world. But that brings up number two, mass. We live in a closed mass system that by the laws of entropy and everything else is degrading, and most of all by our own hands. Everything, all of us are made out of the planet, out of the natural resources, the table, everything else, and it's running downhill rapidly, very rapidly. So we've got to keep track as we do all of these amazing innovations, even though, and this gets to the second point of space, even though here, per capita and total, the Islamic countries in Pakistan are not the problem, but we're in a closed mass system. So the third aspect is space. We can't let our neighbors, the red zone, destroy this fucking planet, pardon me. We can't do it. We have to reach out. In addition to solving our own problems, we've got to prevent the others from destroying the one system we have. And that leads to the third idea, which is time. We're all going forward in time. We have children, we have grandchildren. Now, as I pointed out to you, 50 years ago, we only had 0.2 global warming, 0.2. Today, we have 1.2. In 4 years, 1.5. In 17 years, 2 degrees. And by 2100, when our kids will still be alive, hopefully, 4 degrees C. Now go to the mass problem. 50 years ago, we were only at 0.4 of what we could use sustainably. Today, we're at 1.5, 50% over. By 2050, we're 3 Earths. And by 2100, we're at 6 Earths. What I urge you to do is, first of all, in all the things that you do, keep track, because you're moving up per capita and totally you're moving up. Keep track of the two key things, material consumption, greenhouse gas emissions. Secondly, reach out, find out what the sustainable limits are, the real sustainable limits from the top scientists in the world of what we have to do to keep consumption down, keep global warming down, and take action, not so much here, but in the bad guys out there with the red zone who are really bringing it down. So that's it, the 4 fundamentals of physics. That's my blessing. And
Thank you.
compliments.
Thank you very much, Michael. See, I just wanted to present how it is important to be willing to help others. This institution of ours, which was established in 1960, right from the beginning, our founding fathers have decided that this institution would be open for the world. So despite the fact that we are an institution constrained by all kinds of things, from money to funding and everything, we just name it. This is a institution in the developing world. We have provided thousands of fellowships from all over the world. So you go anywhere in the world, hardly any country, we will not only find our alumni. So our willingness to contribute towards global capacity building, I think this is something which we need from the others as well. If we can all do that, I think we'll be able to have a huge impact.
Just want to make one point here. Thank you. Professor Iqbal mentioned about the reluctance of many countries to contribute to organizations like ComStech, etc. And the reason is that they're not sure whether that money that they give will actually be of benefit to them or not. And can we have a mechanism through which they can be sure that if I contribute $1 million, that $1 million will be spent in my country for development according to my priorities. So when I was the Coordinator General ComStech, we came forward with an organization called STIO, Science and Technology and Innovation Organization. And the idea was your money for your development, with ComStech acting only as a catalyst. You can keep that money, you don't have to give it to ComStech. You can, if Jordan wants to contribute $1 million, it's open a separate account and it's kept in Jordan for expenditure within Jordan. And then Jordan sets its priorities, digital economy or whatever, 3 or 4 key priorities, and ComStech then arranges for experts to meet those priorities. So you have control over the money, you have control over the program, it is spent there. So that STIO idea was approved by the OIC at the highest level by all the heads of states, but it remains dormant. It has not been implemented so far. So if you can revive that idea, your money for your development to be kept by you And the role of organizations like ComSec is to only help in catalyzing their development. That I think can go a long way. But we need some political leadership, and perhaps Jordan can be a leader in pushing this idea forward.
You are coming to Jordan.
Yes, I am.
And you will be meeting with Prince Hassan.
Right, inshallah.
So could you?
I will
you
mention
have
that.
said, could we have it again in Jordan?
Sure.
Okay, I want you to say it.
Okay, sure. I'll
This
do
is
that.
very important.
Yeah, sure.
I think really there is no doubt that failure of governments should not be neglected. In other words, government has to what I call accelerate the drive of science and technology. I think that Professor Abdurrahman is an expert in statistics, and we've been doing, he and I, in the past. Where are we, the OIC country, in terms of expenditure on R&D? We are way behind the developed world. Japan, 3% of their GDP invested in science. United States, 2.8. You know that.
Right.
Europe is 2.8. Israel is 4%. They invest in science. Most Arab countries, I'm talking about Arab countries, they invest less than 0.7%. Jordan, for example, 0.75. Some country, 0.2% of their GDP invested in science. Investing in science is an indicator of your future. Are you going to continue to be developing, or you will shift to the developed club? Promotion of science and technology, you have to invest in science. And again, this is good. But the remarkable things, that number of papers or citation, which was indicated in one of the papers of Professor Atta, number of papers per 1 million population or 10 million population is rising in the OIC countries, in most OIC countries. In Pakistan, they are surpassing India, which the slide you have shown us attracted my attention. And I believe that we have to, the IAS should have a policy to present the indicators of science, technology, innovation in every conference is held in the future, to show where are we, where our place in the world. Are we behind? Are we going backward, or we are going forward? In terms of publications, citations, in terms of patents, in terms of producing technology, and so forth. And I think this is what I want to say. Professor Hassan, do you have anything to say? Well, we are going to close.
Yeah, I mean, I just make an echo what we are saying, but I mean, I think the time to take the action, and one of the actions, I mean, our good colleague next to you, I mean, Professor Chaudhry, who knows, I mean, we have been started an initiative on Center of Excellence as a result of the Kuala Lumpur Summit. And the Pakistan and Malaysia, Turkey and also Indonesia are the partners. But we couldn't take the action, unfortunately. So this is our problem. I mean, we can take the best model. I mean, we can discuss and talk about the best models. But in terms of the application, I mean, we have been, as OIC countries, I mean, this is one of the main challenge. So, I mean, even one simple subject, I mean, the climate, water, as you said, I mean, the food security, I mean, take one of them and form a kind of a center of excellence between at least the countries of is available here. I mean, Pakistan, Jordan, and Turkey, and let's start. I mean, let's start. I mean, the time is need for from science and technology point and action. So this is my I mean, I am just doing an echo, just adding to the what you are saying, that I mean, we should discuss, I mean, as a result of this meeting, of this conference, kind of a one topic, and at least from the Turkey side, we agree. Whatever you will be agree, you will be decide, and we will be the part of the system of the center of excellence. And let's start create the knowledge and develop the human capacity.
Thank you. Okay, Michael.
Very short, very short. Indicators for our children's future, for everybody's future. I would ask you that IAS also include the key UN indicators for greenhouse gas emissions, for natural resource consumption, food, energy, water nexus, and for the science actions that will preserve the future. I think IAS should, I know it's not a positive sort of thing for us necessarily in the present, but it's absolutely essential for our children and grandchildren. We won't get there unless we put those indicators of limitation on the table.
Just very briefly that, you see, during the Kuala Lumpur summit, I was the only one from Pakistan who reached to Kuala Lumpur, and therefore I was the only one who attended the Kuala Lumpur summit. And there we had a very important decision taken that QBTAR from Turkey, iccbs from Pakistan, LIBI from Indonesia, and MITE from Malaysia will form a consortium of excellence. And those four institutions are going to meet in Karachi, inshallah, exactly on the model of what Dr. Badan has suggested. And that is the virtual network of institutions.
Well, I want to thank you all. This is 1 hour session. I still have 5 minutes. Like we can have one question or two from there, please.
I think
Professor.
Germany has been mentioned many times, but I would like to tell something from Germany. I've been there for 50 years, the first-hand experience. I completely endorse your first point. The children's education must properly start at the lowest level. I think the child must be brought, and here the mothers must play a much more important role than they are playing today. My wife gave her profession and she looked after the children. I'm very proud today that my son is one of the most important agricultural economists in the world. He is leading an institute in Bonn, and he is a very, very devoted son still. So I think the education must start at the lowest level. Second point, Professor Tauraman, you talked about the research. In Germany, universities are doing completely basic research, but they have to get their own money for it. There's a new type of university, the technical universities, they are coming up very fast. They are something between fundamental research and applied science. I was teaching in Cologne, and now I'm teaching in an applied university. So I think this type of application is very, very important. And my last point is about the evaluation. In Germany, we take care of the impact factors, but not so much. The impact is more important. What has come out? How many patents have been made? How many invitations to give invited talks have come? How many book chapters have been written? So I think these are the factors that are very important. And the last point is about the spin-offs. The center people, scientists, if they discover something, if they're encouraging, not important. They're encouraging, they become independent, they make a small company, the government gives some starting money, but in the end, they have to prove that they're doing this. So I think this way the private. So I wanted to make this point. Thank you very much for it.
Thank you, Dr. I need to go to declaration, sir, properly.
No, go ahead. It's up to you.
May we have the honor.
To read the
Sure.
declaration.
Touched and humbled.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, I will read out to you for your kind consideration the draft declaration that will come out from this conference. The Islamic World Academy of Sciences, the International Center for Chemical and Biological Sciences, the Ministerial Standing Committee on Science and Technological Cooperation of the OIC, COMSTEC, and the Higher Council for Science and Technology, HCST, extend their appreciation and gratitude to His Excellency, the President of Pakistan, for his high patronage of the conference, and to His Royal Highness, Prince Al Hassan bin Talal, the founding patron of IAS. Whereas seeking knowledge, number one, whereas seeking knowledge is upheld in Islam. Number two, whereas knowledge is derived from research, observation, and development on our planet sphere, geosphere, biosphere, and ecosphere, and cybersphere. Three, where the delivery of R&D in science, technology, and innovation ecosystem is used for promotion of socio-economic development. Four, whereas OIC member states recognize education, science, technology, and technology as a vehicle for socio-economic development in 2020, reconfirmed in 2021 OIC Summit Conference. Five, whereas OIC countries and humanity in general are facing global, natural, and man-made disasters, there is earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, droughts, climate change, pollution of drinking water, oceans, land, and biosphere, resulting in the loss of biodiversity, disrupting food chain supply, energy deficiency, poor health, and hence increase in poverty. We, the fellows of the Islamic Academy of Sciences and participants in the IAS 24th conference entitled Challenges to Promote Science and Technology for Socio-Economic Development in OIC Countries, held in Karachi on 7 to 8 March 2023 in partnership with ICCBS, one call on OIC member states for the inclusion of inquiry-based education to enhance creativity, curiosity, and problem solving for building capacity in STI and enriching human resources. Call on OIC member states to formulate and implement national innovation policies in order to promote entrepreneurship targeted at manufacture and export of high technology goods. Three, call on OIC member states to identify centers of excellence for the IAS network, STIs, leading to regional R&D delivery or common scientific applications, innovation, and leading to socio-economic development and digital transformation. Four, bridge the academia and industry for joint R&D leading to socio-economic development. Five, create social and technology parks and incubators to commercialize the delivery of research and innovation into startup SMEs and enhance diversification of new materials and quality control. Six, create a consortium for a sustainable triangle of energy, water, food security linked to IAS platform to network reputable research centers in OIC countries for self-reliance and meeting the Sustainable Development Goals, and call on COMSTEC to increase their mobility grants to scientists from LDCs to centers of excellence for training and research in combating poverty and hunger. Seven, strengthen world-class research centers such as the ICCBS and use them for human resource development in frontier fields of science and technology in the OIC region. Eight, align cooperation and collaboration with private sector on achieving a sustainable triangle of food, water, and energy security for future generations. Nine, promote cooperation and collaboration of the private sector for health security of vaccines and drugs to embark across borders, a joint enterprise of manufacture vaccines and needed drugs for emerging pandemics in the OIC member states. 10, academia and research centers of OIC member states should encourage interdisciplinary research to deal with common problems of the Islamic world, including fields of humanity and social sciences, such as climate change, the triangle for sustainability, population, poverty, Medicare, etc. 11, urge the OIC member states to invest at least 1% of their GDP in research in science, technology, and innovation for socio-economic development. 12, encourage OIC member states to provide sustained support to the OIC SNT institutions such as COMSTEC and IAS, so that they can fulfill their assigned mandate. And 13, encourage the OIC member states to venture into getting benefits of game-changing technologies like nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, and other emerging technologies, including radionuclide medical technology, leading to the fourth industrial revolution. So there are some minor typographical errors, etc., and language errors, which will of course be corrected. But if there are any comments, I think perhaps you might want to comment on it, or any changes that you might want to make.
Well, I want to thank Professor Abdurrahman for reading the declaration, which is the outcome of your conference. I would like to thank Professor Hassan from Turkey and also Professor Chaudhry and Michael for participating in this panel discussion. And you know, we are on time to close the conference. Shall we do it? Yes. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, President, Excellency Dr. Adnan Badran, the President of the World Academy of Sciences, for his leadership, for his commitment, perseverance, and his vision. He has been an inspirational source for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.